This is AI Wayfinder. You can think of it as a ChatGPT bot for cryptocurrency purposes. In other words, if you go over and type into the bot what you want to do, and it can be super complex transactions like swapping or bridging or sending tokens to multiple different wallets at once, the chat bot, AI Wayfinder, will do all of these transactions for you in a matter of seconds, as opposed to what would take you potentially up to a half an hour and a lot of stress to do the same task. So if you think that's cool, keep watching, because I'm going to show you guys how to get part of the Prompt token, which is the token that will fuel the entire ecosystem behind this project. It's also got ties to the Parallel ecosystem, which is a game that came out with their own token called Prime Token. And it just so happens that by cashing that Prime token is the way you will get this Prompt token for AI Wayfinder once that launches. So if you didn't understand anything I just said, I'm gonna show you guys how to get part of a potentially $400 million airdrop right now in this video in 3 simple steps. Now, how do I get to a $400 million airdrop, which is a ton, by the way? And this is an easy airdrop to participate in because it doesn't require a lot of tasks. But how do I get to 400 million? Well, the Wayfinder community here is going to get 40% of the allocation of the Prompt token just for those who have cashed Prime. Caching is more or less like staking Prime tokens. Now you may ask, what is the Prime token? This is the Prime token right here. It is the token that fuels the Parallel card trading game ecosystem and then the Parallel game universe. But because the team from Parallel actually is working on the AI Wayfinder project, they have integrated a way for Prime holders, so people who hold this $7 coin can go over and stake or cash their Prime on the Wayfinder site right now to get access to that 40% of the token allocation for Prompt. And based on estimates, and these are not my estimates, these are estimates from people in the space that really know the space well, the expected value or the fully diluted value of this project on launch is supposed to be somewhere around $1 billion, which puts that 40% at a $400 million airdrop. And you can access that airdrop right now super passively just by doing the next 2 steps in this video. Step number 1 is going to be come over and buy some Prime. If you don't already have Prime, you need to go and buy some. And you don't have to buy a lot. If you are someone who's just speculating or just trying out, this project and wants to participate in this airdrop, you could spend as little as $50 and get almost 10 Prime right now. This is actually a huge discount to where it was because it was almost $30. But that also provides a major opportunity to buy into this airdrop at a very low price compared to what I paid. I paid about $21 for my Prime when I bought those a couple months ago and staked them on Wayfinder. So to buy Prime, you can go over to whichever exchange you want. I'd recommend using Coinbase because you can actually use my link down below to get up to $200 worth of free crypto by using Coinbase and using my referral link down below. But you could also go over to a DEX like Uniswap or any of the other exchanges you see here to buy some Prime tokens. Step number 2 is to go to ai.matscrypto.com, which will bring you over to this page right here where you can go ahead and cash your Prime tokens. And again, caching is just another way to say staking. But in this case, what you will do is decide how many days you want to cash your tokens for. And when you cash them, they will be locked for that many days. So as you can see right here, I have a handful of different buckets or different caches that I've gone and spread out over a different amount of time. So for this one right here, this 200 Prime that I cashed on June 17th has 325 days left until it unlocks. I did a full 1 year, 365 days on that cash or on that staking amount. And that's because the longer you stake, the bigger the multiplier you're gonna get. And that multiplier will help you earn more points. As you can see right here on the overview page, you're gonna earn more Prime score. And these scores, as we know from many other airdrops, are gonna be what determines how many Prompt tokens you get when the token generation event happens. So now that we know how to buy them and where to cash them, we're gonna go over and actually show you guys how to cash some tokens. You can see I have 122 Prime that I haven't touched yet. It's just sitting in my wallet. And you can see I have about 500 Prime that I've already cashed. So we're gonna click on Cash Prime. So as I've said, you can cash whatever you want, but it will be locked up in the smart contract for however long you choose. Now, one other thing I should mention is you can, at any time before the end of the caching, you can extend your cache. So for this one right here that ends in 141 days, let's say a week before it ends, I decided, you know what, I want to actually keep it in there a bit longer. We can click extend cache right here, and we can actually extend the amount of time we want to keep it in there to continue to earn a higher multiplier on that stake instead of having it withdraw and then not earn any more points. The beauty of that is that you could go and stake or cache things for 30 days and then keep extending it over time if you decide after 30 days, you know what, I want to keep it in there a bit longer. The only difficult part about that is you actually have to make sure you're on top of it and go and extend the cache before it expires. So what we'll do is 50 prime right here, and then we'll click next step. And this is where you can see the multiplier and the modifiers and how they come into play. So this bar right here, you can drag and see how long you want to do. And you can see the longer you do, the more multiplier you get. Right now, the max you can do is over 1,000 days, which again, still over 3 years long, or roughly 3 years long, 75x multiplier. But if we go all the way down to the minimum, that's 21 days and you get a 1.05x multiplier. So for this 50 prime tokens, we're gonna go into a smaller amount than I have so far. We're gonna go ahead and do 65 days. So you can see right here, that's gonna give us a 4x modifier. And you can actually see that when you get these milestone enhanced, you can actually increase the amount of multiples you get quicker than the standard modifier. And I'll show you guys all about how those work in just a second. But right now we're gonna go and click Preview Prime, and you can see right here it's gonna show you exactly what you're doing. You have 50 Prime, we're gonna cash it or stake it for 65 days, meaning we won't be able to touch it for 65 days, but during those 65 days, up until September 29th of this year. So the next thing is we'll click Cash Prime, and then at that point you'll have a transaction pop up on your screen. Make sure it is from Wayfinder, and then you'll click Confirm to confirm the transaction. Then you'll wait a few seconds for your transaction to confirm, and once it's done, you'll see Prime successfully cashed. You cashed 50 Prime for 65 days with a 4.1x multiplier. I now have a pretty good array of different timelines for the caches that I have. You can do whatever you want, but I would suggest playing around and seeing what different timeframes work for you. Maybe if you have 100 Prime, you'll split it up into 5 different caches equally and do those all over different time periods. You can maximize both the long-term modifier points, and you can also have some that unlocks sooner, so that way if you did want to sell for some reason or you needed to use your Prime, you'd have access to it quicker. Okay, the last step of the tutorial is to come over to the overview page here, and there are 2 things you can do on this page. The first one is you can refer your friends. So after you've signed up and cash some of your own Prime, you can go and refer your friends with this link right here. And again, my referral link is going to be ai.matscrypto.com. So if you do join this, I'd highly suggest using my referral link because it helps me out and I'd appreciate it a lot. But one other thing you do want to look out for is this badges section right here. So you can see your score right above here, and you can see the caches over here where we just were. But if you click on view badges and view all badges, there are a handful of different badges you can get. And I'm not exactly sure what these do yet, but my best guess is that these badges will also be criteria and modifiers or point bonuses to get more prompt tokens when the token generation event and the airdrop happens for these tokens. And the different badges are pretty simple right now. Most of them right here, all the ones that I have almost, are based on how long you've cashed your Prime, right? So this first one here is 30 days cashed. So then if you do a 30-day cash, you'll get that badge. This one's 90 days. So if you cash for 90 days, you'd get this badge right here, and you'd also get the 30-day badge because you've qualified for both of those. So the obvious thing is you go to the bottom badge here, and this one's the maximum badge. This one is for max caching for the whatever, 1,000 plus days. So if you even just did 1 Prime worth $7 for the maximum amount of time, you will get all 8 of these badges, all 8 of them, right? And there's different timelines for each of them, but if you just do 1 Prime for the max amount of time, you would get all 8 badges in one go. So I think it's worth the $10 and the 1 Prime caching right now to get those badges. If you do want to participate in this airdrop and maximize the allocation you get for the prompt token, that's a no-brainer way to do that one right now, very early. The next section here is actually for referrals. So the more referrals you get, if you refer 1 friend, you'd get a badge right there right off the bat. Then you get a badge for 5 referrals, 10 referrals, etc., etc. The highest one right here is the maximum badge. I'm not sure what that number is, but the one before that is 100. So I assume the maximum is either 250, 500, or 1,000 referred users, which is very unlikely to happen for me or for you. But if you guys do use my referral code, maybe you can help me get up to the 25 users badges. That would be really cool, and obviously, I'd love it a lot. Now, the other badges that I actually haven't gotten here yet are governance voting badges. As you can see right here, governance vote 2, governance votes 3, and the prime unlock vote. The badge right here is holding the prime token before unlock, which I also did not get. And then the other ones here are for the duration of holding prime. So 3 months, 6 months, and 12-month prime held duration. I'm not sure if these only count if the prime is being held in your wallet prior to cashing. I have not held the prime that I have very long, so I don't even have the 3-month badge, but I'm hoping that by holding some prime that I just bought in my wallet right now will actually allow me to get these badges over the next year or so, because I'm gonna hold some prime in that wallet that I'm using for this airdrop and not cash it, maybe like 1 or 2 tokens, just to see if I can get these badges for holding the prime directly, because cashing it doesn't seem to work for this, or at least it hasn't worked for me so far. But then again, I haven't been cashed for 3 months yet, so maybe we'll see if we get those badges over time. Okay, that is pretty much all there is to it. The main goal is to buy your prime and cash it so you can get your prime score as high as possible. If you refer some friends, this is gonna be the community score. I'm pretty sure is where you get the community score from, is referring some of your friends. And then the initialization score, I have no idea what that is. Maybe it's by the amount of cashes you do or the amount of time you've locked in and how, actually initiating those. I don't really know. There's been no clarity on that number, but the simple fact is the higher these scores, the more prompt tokens you're going to get from the airdrop, and that airdrop is a juicy one. So as a recap, go over and sign up at ai.matscrypto.com. Cash as many or as little prime tokens as you want to. And if you do need to buy those prime tokens, go to coinbase.matscrypto.com to buy prime right on Coinbase. It's the best centralized exchange in the world. It's the most trusted, especially if you're US folks like me. It's by far the easiest, and they do have prime listed on there. And if you do use the link coinbase.matscrypto.com down below, you can get up to $200 worth of free crypto just when you go and sign up and fund your account. Before you head out, make sure you go over and watch this video, because it's another one I don't think you're gonna wanna miss. If you like the video you just watched, you don't wanna miss this one either.